Hey everybody. So in today's video, the top 5x5 is where we go through 5 stocks, long and short, that you can look at for tomorrow to move in under 5 minutes. Usually it's between 5 to 7, but let's just jump right into it. So this is the Q today, and let's just review this very quickly, okay, because this is going to be our first position. TQQ is going to be the short, okay, again. Here's your old trend line on the Qs. You tried to run up. If we zoom in on this, this is called the Long-Legged Doji. Okay, that's what this bar is called. It signifies uncertainty. Usually it signifies also a change in trend. The trend has been up, probably means that we're heading back down. Now, if you take a look at this, and we did this in the trading room today, and it kind of let us know to get out of some things and move forward. Let's get rid of the pre and post. Okay, you set up a small head and shoulders, right? Here's the head, 2 little shoulders. Here's your break line. You broke, and that was pretty much it. See how you tested up there, and then it came back. That's what you're looking for. So once that transpired, you knew that you're probably going to go down for the rest of the day. And so I did increase the short position, but this is not over by any stretch. So if you look at this and where you can go to, let's just look at this TQQ now on an hourly, just to put it in perspective. I mean, this is where you've been, right? And let's clean this up a little bit and get rid of all the segment lines. But you can see where you've been. Now, if you want to just look at this from an hourly perspective, okay, this is your hourly chart right here, okay? So that's your hourly. This is where you open. This is the low. This is where you're at, all right? So with that said, you broke a rising wedge. Technically, this is telling you that you're heading back down to here, okay? So this could come in. Just be aware of that. This could really come in. And to me, you can see by an hourly chart, you had 1 hour of going up, and then you never closed above that, right? So look at multiple time frames. Helps huge in understanding what's really going on with the market, especially when you see you can't close above it. Right, so the first one's TQQ. Any rally tomorrow, I would put it on. 132.20 would be your stop, but I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. So QDAL is number 2. We had great earnings tonight, and I'm not going to get into it, but they were good, and I suggest that you take a look at it and read them. But what we're going to do here is just run through how you should play this. So this is your range, okay? So that's your range for tomorrow, and I would be looking at this as a long. Now, what I would want to do with this is very simple. I want this to drop back down or form some kind of pattern that I can recognize and understand that from up here to down here is my range. I have a 20-point range. So expect this to be pretty wild tomorrow and have swings, okay? First 15 minutes after hours usually determines your range for the next day. Something to think about, unless it just explodes, but they're rare. Usually it's the first 15 minutes of the algos on where they'll buy everything, and then, of course, where they'll sell everything. And that's what you're seeing right here. So look at this one tomorrow. This one's going to have a lot of action in it. You're going to see huge trades in this one tomorrow. It just has that feel to it, and that kind of volatility, that's not going away. So it's simply not. So Peloton, this is a long, and for me to look at this, I really like the stock, and I think you could continue to move here. Now, you're starting to turn here, but let's just go to this very quickly. Okay, and then we're going to clean all this up. We don't need it anymore. Okay, scroll this down. See how this is curling? See how there's a trend line from here straight across, and you've broken that trend line and you're heading up. This is pegging to 96. You can wait for it to get above 90. And then put the trade on, and there's probably 6 points there, and then just use the low of that bar as your stop. But I think that there's a trade there, and I think it pegs to there. There's a huge short position in this, and they haven't been covering, and they're getting complacent, right? Because they've just been making bank. So just keep that in mind, but I like this as a long. BABA. So this is one that everyone got all excited about today because Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger said they're increasing their stake or doubling their stake, okay? I mean, maybe if I was down 100% or 50% on my position, I might double my stake too. So to them, it's a position. It's one position that's probably not even 2% of their portfolio. So it's not, and they look out over a decade. So it's not a really reason that somebody should be jumping into a stock. It's not like they're telling you it's going up next month. And considering the uncertainty with what's going on globally, I would not want to own these names. But see this trend line right here? You got right to it. Now, this is important because this is the first time that it's done this. Okay, we really have not closed above here since here. And then that was short-lived, and then we rolled. If we can roll back down under this 21-day, I would just continue to put a short on. Caveat, into this line, I started a short position. But all you're looking for is this to break, maybe break that low, and then just put the short on again, and you're probably going to head right back down to the low end of this range, which is like 135, 136. And I think this continues its descent. I don't see any reason to assume that the powers that be are going to lighten up on what they're doing to BABA in China. And I think they're going to keep weighing on it. So I just don't think that's going to change in any time soon. So look at that one. Finally, let's look at Tesla. So Tesla has its investor meeting. It's actually going on right now. This was fairly interesting. Today, everyone's a little upset because of the way that it ran and then pulled back. That's the kind of market you're in. They're not breaking out and running, right? You're dealing with this. So it's definitely something to consider. But in regards to this is simple. Okay, they have a good report tomorrow, and they can get through 8 or 805 actually is what we're going to look for. With option expiration on the weeklies tomorrow, you need to be looking at this and you need to get involved with this. And you can look at this for a much longer term. This is not done. I mean, we got in this on the newsletter from 7:30, 7:65. If you don't get the newsletter, there's a free version in the description. Simply sign up and you'll get it every Wednesday. But this 805, you're heading back to 900. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that this has just been one of the leaders that has just not remotely cared about this pullback. So I would look for 805, and then I think you can put on another trade. I think that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. So that's it in a nutshell. As always, subscribe to the channel and click notifications. And do me a favor, let me know which one of these 5 you like the most. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everybody.